In this video, we'll be talking about JACKOLANTURNN, aka Jacko, a YouTuber who sat at around 2,000 subs before he lost everything. There's a lot to unpack here, so sit back, relax, and let's get into it. I first met Jacko on a self-promotion server known as YCC, aka YouTube Creator Cafe. He was an avid user there, providing valuable YouTube tips and trivia to smaller creators, along with sharing his own content. When I joined his server, I became friends with him and his members, including the staff. We were very close with one another, almost planning to add him to our channel. Oh, how wrong we were. Over time, me and his head staff, referred to as Blue, became great friends, usually conversing with Jacko in his server's voice chat. Sometimes we'd have to deal with his fiance's interruptions. Now, these interruptions aren't all that troublesome, we just meet her for a bit and move on. But one day, things were different. Me, Blue, and Jacko were chatting when Lori, Jacko's fiance, was doing her usual thing in voice chat. Jacko today wasn't having it and started arguing, eventually going as far as to throw a pack of cigarettes at her. Me and Blue heard this over Lori's end. We got really mad about this, and for good reason. After a long, drawn-out argument between the four of us, me and Blue talked to Lori in private. She said this isn't the first time he's acted this way. According to her and Jacko himself, he has several mental issues and will not work because of it. He lives at home, playing games, making animations until the AM, all while Lori works hard and makes the money for the household. They've gone as far as to beg and lie to Jacko's mom for money because he refuses to work. All he uses it for is weed. As time went on, his behavior would become more unhinged. According to his former head staff member Blue, his behavior was very apparent behind the scenes.
All I know is that he was throwing cigarettes at Lori's head when Lori said no, she's not going to do what he wants her to do. Getting up close and personal towards her, being aggressive, demanding that she went to McDonald's for him when he needed food. If she didn't go, then he would go in a cranky mood and say that it's your job. You do what I tell you to do. I own you. Basically, he thinks that she is his bitch. If he needs anything from Walmart, she has to go there. If he needs groceries, she has to do it.
Knowing what we know now, along with the several hours of info I've learned, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Jumping forward a bit, I had gotten myself banned from Jacko's server for many reasons. Toxic behavior, admin abuse, and abusing perms. While I can't excuse my own behavior, that's nothing compared to what's coming. Regardless of my ban, me and Blue were great friends at the time. We always had each other's backs. When Blue decided it was his time to retire, he told Jacko, but he didn't get the response he wanted. Jacko swiftly banned him after his retirement. He went off, saying that Blue was a narcissistic asshole. With Jacko gone, we've really talked about his faults. Here's Blue's 2 cents on the matter.
Put it this way, Jacko was trying to push me away from you. He was calling you everything under the sun, blaming you for his YouTube channel and everything like that. Because I wanted to leave the staff team, I got removed from the server and got told everything like apparently I am an arsehole, narcissistic bastard. He made me quit my channel.
Even now, we realized Jacko was abusing his staff and server members. He just wants to be a big YouTuber, regardless of how he gets there.
Moving on, within the server, his staff team are getting used. Basically, when I was a part of the staff team, he would demand that his staff would take action there and then, and if we didn't, then he would go in a mood. Another thing with his staff is he would remove staff and rehire staff quicker than he changes his underwear. For example, I had retired from the staff team. I got banned for no apparent reason. He said, well, it's not your server to run. You don't make the decisions. I do. It's my server. If you don't like it, then fucking leave. I believe that he's just been completely narcissistic towards the staff team that he had, but that's there now.
With Blue gone, there was one less person to stop him. Unfortunately, we had no idea what that would entail. Flash forward 7 months later, a friend of mine we'll call Gray, along with the rest of Jacko's staff, gets a message he wants to re-invite someone. They all check the staff chat to find out it's someone named Deku Toad. Now, Deku is a pretty active member of Jacko's community, almost as far back as when I joined. Problem is, he'd previously been exposed for a life-altering secret, changing the course of history forever. According to my source, Deku is a member of the Party Animals Discord server. He was banned from there for, let's just say, he was paying less attention to the game and more its younger fan base. Given this context, Gray called out Jacko for such a horrendously asinine idea. Jacko tried to reason with him, saying he went to therapy and is actively getting the help he needs. Gray, understandably, wasn't having it. Jacko, not one to lose, banned him from the server. The rest of the staff were shocked and confused.
Yeah, like Jack banned me as soon as said he's not doing it back. Disagreed. The main thing I was worried about, he's put at risk. He's put at risk, and every single miner in that server at risk, man.
On top of that, Jacko had the gall to put a little note saying that Orange, the youngest member of Jacko's staff, stays away from Deku. This statement was logical only to Jacko, who, as I said, told Gray that Deku is getting therapy. Something here doesn't quite add up. Speaking of Deku, I just got some juicy new evidence. It was provided by someone new we'll call White. First things first, I want to say thank you to White for providing me with this. Thank you very much. Now let's dive in. When I joined the Party Animals Discord, my first instinct was to search Deku in the general chat. I found many results, but the one I gravitated towards was White calling out Deku for being a creep. I opened their DMs and politely asked if they still had the evidence. Problem is, I noticed their message was from January 12th, and I messaged them on August 10th. Given that it was over 6 months ago, it seemed like my venture was fruitless. A day later, I checked my DMs to the jaw-dropping sight of 16 screenshots showing what went down. After reviewing them with Gray, we can conclude these are legitimate. White explained that most of these screenshots were provided when Deku was on a Dead by Daylight server known as Dead by Devs. Keep in mind, this was before he was on the Party Animals Discord. As you can see here, Deku is 21 while the victim is 16. He starts lying to their face, saying he's a gender-fluid girl because the victim said they're a lesbian. The victim contacted Azaram, a staff member, who made a group call with the rest of staff and everyone aware of his behavior. Deku told White that he was being framed. He dragged them into the call to help plead his case. Unbeknownst to White, they were being lied to. When Azaram exposed Deku of coaxing a 16-year-old girl into being his girlfriend, White replied with,
"I wash my hands of him. He deserves all the hate he gets, and I'm not going to associate with him anymore."
Deku, now petrified, played the victim card saying he's going to fix himself. The staff knew what to do and permabanned him from the server. Being the genius that he is, he tried it a second time on the Party Animals server. Thankfully, White was already 2 steps ahead and told the staff team what Deku is. They swiftly took action and permabanned him. It's sad to say that this is quite normal on social media like Discord. I'm sure these aren't the only victims of Deku's actions, and I hope you can sleep at night now knowing he's exposed. Now that everyone's caught up, let's cover the aftermath. Me and the others, especially Gray, wanted Orange out of that server. He was by far the youngest of Jacko's staff, and probably the whole server.
Do you want to be the co-owner roster? So pretty much he's already replacing me already. It's not even a second thought going, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, yeah.
He's already replaced me. Yeah, but Deku, so is Deku back? Is he in the server?
Not that I know of.
What did say?
Yeah, Jack said some crap about he's like or some crap.
What Deku's like? I never done inappropriately talk to minors.
Yeah.
The best thing for you to do is it is your choice to leave or say something. I got banned for saying something, but you're leaving regardless. It's not that we're forcing you to leave, it's the fact that you need to leave because he's a risk. You're the, out of everyone that we've been worried about, you're the most at risk because you're the youngest.
Our next course of action after making sure everyone's safe was to talk with Jacko directly. We gave him 2 options, drop the Deku Toad stuff and move on, or hand the server to someone else. He decided to take the secret 3rd option and nuke his server of 250 plus people. Do you remember the server me and Jacko met on, YouTube Creator Cafe? Gray and Jacko were chilling in general chat when Jacko chimed in saying he was stalking him. Supposedly, Gray was always there when Jacko was. I mean, it's a public server, so you're bound to see him. After this happened with a staff member in chat, Gray explained himself to the staff. They dragged Gray and Jacko into a staff call to explain their situation.
I have a perfect solution to all our problems. All Jack-O-Lantern has to do, right, is just look up the words chicken soup on Facebook.
But this is not a scale, no, this is not an evenly weighted scale. Your scale's like up in the fuck, like down on the fucking ground, and mine's resting on a holy pedestal. We're just staying tight, bro, like.
My brother in Christ, the TOS of all platforms are by extension the TOS of the server. That's not a new development. Take for an enabling example, YouTube itself. If you break YouTube terms of service, you get banned from the server. That's simple. That's a simple equation.
Yeah, it's not like he knows whenever you click on YCC.
False accusations for probably one. He got banned for the reason that was messaged by a bot.
So Jack, do you know how I can call you bullshit there? Do you know what it is? I talked to him today and I asked him, and he said, fuck all.
Bullshit, that's how you you'll put it together, I promise. It's like a drama, you gotta, figure it out. I'm told that there's evidence. I haven't seen any, and I'm just like, why?
Because of that whole ordeal, Jacko was permabanned from YCC. Presumably out of a fit of rage, he nuked his 2 YouTube channels and any branding accounts like his Facebook. Well over 2,000 subscribers gone. Just like that. Before I continue, I want to specify that everything found beyond this point was from our sources unless specified otherwise. As I said in the disclaimer, everything within said video is accessible freely to the public. That means whatever info we got was at one point, or still is, freely and legally accessible to anyone. For safety's sake, I cannot disclose who and or what our sources are. On July 15th, I talked to Jacko's fiancée Lori about the dislikes our channel's been getting. This mass disliking started sometime after Gray got banned. Me and her argued about how I don't have Jacko's tag, so therefore I can't reopen his DMs. Unfortunately, this was a waste of time since they're still doing it to this day. July 18th was around the time Jacko nuked his original Discord server, much to an ex-staff member's chagrin. I talked to them about it and they were pissed. They were the only one actually on Jacko's side before he decided to backstab and abandon them. Everyone else ultimately teamed up with us, culminating in this extensive video. Jacko's new server was made around July 21st, 10 days before Jacko's ban on YCC. Then, on July 30th, Jacko made a secret Twitter where he posted about 16 tweets a day. On numerous occasions, he'd call out mine and Gray's socials. Jacko's also been constantly branding us as cyberstalkers and creepers, despite no clear evidence. This lack of evidence is also why the staff didn't believe him in YCC. Right after, on July 31st, Jacko marked us and other people as cyberstalking creepers on his server. This was out in the open there for a while, but luckily it wasn't long before we got him to remove it. Unfortunately, our sources didn't have anything else from that server, as Jacko deleted it and made yet another one. Now, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. On August 7th, Blue was frustrated with us during the making of his segments. He didn't want us to use his voice, yet we had no clear alternative at the time. While he was arguing with us, I told him we'd thoroughly talk about it tomorrow. It was almost 12 PM and I was very tired and irritated. That is why his segments utilize an 11 Labs AI voice rather than his natural Scottish voice. Because of this fallout, he dropped a bombshell of information.
I have a few things I need to get off my chest. All the things I said about Jacko, it was all a lie. I've been working for Jacko the whole time. Thanks for the info, asshole.
This sank in like a rock in my stomach. To make matters worse, one of our sources screen shared and showed me that Jacko knew about the drama video's thumbnail. Here's the ripped screen share audio during that, and it explains my state of mind better than I ever could. You know that guy Blue that we've been telling y'all about? You know, we got the voice recordings and all that, and oh yeah. He's the one that told him about this. Yeah. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? He told me that his name isn't, so you can call him whatever you want. All we know is that he's the one who's teaming up with Jacko now, so cool. Great. So all the stuff you recorded for me may not be fucking useful at all. I may have wasted my time. You know what's even funnier? You know what the really funny thing is? This is all a big fun game to them, and I'm just going fucking crazy. I'm just banging my head against the wall in an insane asylum. I don't know. When you guys see this video, you'll be the ones to know, so. I'm sure you're now like, okay, but if Blue is supposedly a traitor and his info is fake, then why did you still use it? Are you stupid? The first thing I did was message my friend Gray, who had also been on Jacko's staff. I showed him what I had and asked him questions regarding what Blue recorded. Through that and my own cross-referencing, we concluded that a good chunk of it was usable, but some of it was blatantly fake. I told the others what had happened. While most of them just accepted it as part of the drama, Orange decided to stay with Blue. Another person who we'll refer to as Green has been watching this drama unfold the whole time. He's a close friend of mine, someone I've known for years. A day later, after Blue and Orange left, Green decided to join them. Even he was unsure why, and because of that, he basically became a double agent. So, Mr. Green, I have some questions I'd like to ask you since you were on our side, then Jacko's, and now back to ours. So, you've basically made a full circle, and you had your own little fun side quest.
Pretty much. That's how everything went.
Alright, so I have 7 questions for you, and the first one is, why did you choose to side with Jacko after being with Valkyrian, i.e. me?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I guess it's just kind of a mix between, like, all the craziness of that night that, like, and stuff kind of backstabbed you. Because it's kind of got caught up in the craziness and decided, you know what, I'm just gonna join Jacko for a bit. For some reason, I don't know.
Question number 2. Do you regret joining Jacko's side, and if so, when did you exactly?
So, when I first initially joined, they're just like, no drama. Well, I mean, they didn't really say anything about the drama, they just said, oh, chill here, it's chill. But, I didn't really want to get involved at that point. I just kind of wanted to back off and just let the drama die on its own. But they were pretty persistent on trying to get me involved and all. And I'll admit, they kind of used me as like a pawn for all this.
Yeah, I had my suspicions. You're not the first person who was used as a pawn, unfortunately. Question number 3. During your time on Jacko's server, what were we able to find out?
Well, he told me a lot of the evidence that he collected was actually placed there as like a sort of fake evidence, quotation marks, fake evidence. So that's kind of one of the bigger things that I found out. Yeah, he's basically just giving out false information.
Planting evidence in any way, shape, or form is known as evidence tampering and is generally a third-degree felony, which can be punished for up to 2 to 10 years and fines up to $10,000. So, the fact that you said that he admitted to it, and from what I've read and I've heard, some of it that I have found is fake. Honestly, I have no idea how much is fake, but from what I've seen, some of it seems blatantly fake, which is why I'm not using it in said video, is, concerning for a number of reasons, considering he'll get in more trouble than I will if anything actually does happen, considering he was the one that supposedly planted it, if it is fake. So, maybe next time he should think twice about doing that kind of stuff. Question number 4. What have your concerns been about Jacko and his friend group?
I don't really have any, really. I mean, his friends seem pretty chill. However, I will admit that him, Jacko, and his wife, they do kind of go at it here and there over the stupidest things. So, that is that one piece of evidence that is true, is that they do go at it. See, I would be in the VC sometimes, just like talking to whoever, and like occasionally she would join the VC. It'd sometimes go off about the most stupidest things, like we'd call back to an incident. I did it one time, he was kind of going off on her. I think it was like a pizza or something. I don't remember exactly what was said because I kind of just tuned him. But I wouldn't say it was a very often occurrence, but they did kind of fight here and there. And not anything physical that I heard, but they just like get in arguments, type of fighting. However, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes or...
Yeah, I mean, you're not their therapist, so. Question number 5. Do you think any of these claims, Lori's possible abuse, the fake evidence, and police and FBI reports, etc. are actually true? And if not, why? And what is your evidence to support those claims?
I'm gonna be honest. It was mainly in VC, so I didn't record it. I didn't record anything from the VC. I'm not sure myself. I don't really have any, like, physical evidence, but I was there to see it, or hear it.
Question number 6. What do you think will happen when this video inevitably comes out?
With the way that they're kind of acting, they're also wanting to distance from the drama and stuff. But I think when the video comes out, it's definitely going to get picked up back again. As for the legal stuff that's tied to it, because they're saying that, oh, they're going to get the law involved and all that. That's the thing that I'm mainly concerned about, because the way that they talk is that everyone involved with this is going to get investigated and all that.
At the end of the day, it's a YouTube drama video, so I can't necessarily say they'll take it too seriously, but, like, I understand both sides. On the one hand, it's a drama video. I'm sure they have more important things to deal with, like murders, break-ins, all of that stuff. But on the same token, if they bug them enough, they may just go, fine, we'll look into it, and they may do something. I don't know. Only time will tell. And question number 7, do you think that if given enough time, the drama will completely die off?
I mean, I've kind of seen it firsthand here, is that a lot of people have just been getting completely exhausted from it and just leaving it. So, I believe that eventually it will die off, but and the way he's talking on his Twitter, it seems like he's kind of done too.
I will say, I myself have been exhausted by this many, many times and have utilized different ways of coping with it, whether it's watching videos or taking one of my weed gummies or whatever other usual thing I do to get my morale up. Sometime after the interview, I talked to Green about this, and he summed up Jacko pretty well. On August 4th, Jacko opened a new Discord server. In a general chat conversation, Jacko said he made 4 new YouTube channels. Our sources found this server because of one. They've discovered 3 so far, but the first 2 were deleted during the making of this. For the longest time, our sources thought that'd be it, much like the last server. One of our sources, late at night, decided to check the server one last time before heading to bed. To their surprise, they found a new chat room called Private Discussions. This laid out their plan to systematically attack and barrage our group, going into extensive detail on how they'd achieve it. According to this, they'd use Poxy and fake GPS location from the Google Play Store, along with a website that let them make infinite emails. Now let's cover the many tweets Jacko made between the two accounts. First things first, I want to address this loaded tweet. Orange accusing me of stealing his Discord along with changing his password. He gave me his email password, and Discord password in DMs. Because of this, on top of the drama destroying my morale, I had a paranoid meltdown. Through sheer willpower and weed gummies, I was able to endure it. I swiftly changed the passwords and deleted the accounts our sources used. Unfortunately, Orange's alt just happened to be one of them. There's a few specific tweets I haven't covered from the two accounts, so I'm gonna clump them together. Jacko decided to call out this guy for being me. They roasted him so hard I can't even show the last part. My best guess is they're an angry former friend of Jacko's, one of my close friends, or a source of ours gone rogue. Jacko also said that I doxed his wife Lori, like, huh? All I did was point out how their account's entire existence was to spread his schlock. Everyone involved in his group knew about her, whether they wanted to or not. Green already talked about how you argue over the dumbest things possible, especially in a public voice chat. Now Jacko decided we're internet extremists. These are all the people that supposedly worked for our side. I'm gonna be completely honest, looking over this, 95% of these people are just complete strangers. I don't know who they are, and I feel bad that they got caught in the crossfire. One last thing. If any part of my video is used in any way, shape, or form, regardless of social media platform, I can and will take legal action. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next time I get the drive to make our usual gaming content.